the other topic that I enjoy talking about, because you and I have a favorite reality show that has to deal with this, is arranged marriage. So you and I, when I mean, what is it? I think we've seen every single season, and we're hoping there's another season. But there's a show on Netflix called
Yes.
Indian Matchmaking, and we love it so much. we we
Mhm.
watch it. We watch it together. Please, Netflix, make another season. And I mean, that's obviously a more modern modern take. So in Indian matchmaking, sorry, let me give you guys the gist. There's Auntie Seema Auntie, and she is one of the top matchmakers in India. She is called to, I guess, some different parts of India to help hook some young people up with and she talks to their parents, gets to know them, what they want, gets to know what the single person wants. And then she's also flies to the States, and she gets with Indian American young people who either usually they've hired her, but their parents, they're doing it for their parents. They're in their 20s, they're into their 30s. Some of them are approaching 40s, and we've tried Western style dating, dating different types of guys and gals of all colors. And then they realize, well, maybe my parents had it right. I want something that's going to last, something that's stable, someone who gets my culture. So Seema gets flown and overseas, and she talks to these Indian American well, they're not all young people, but people of marriageable age. And it's that whole dynamic's very interesting too. It's a really interesting show, bottom line. And it would be interesting if they did a new season, like the few that have ended up together, like if they're still
Yeah.
working out, especially the Western ones. Obviously, the ones in India that got married, I have no doubt they're still together because
They're still
where you're from,
together.
that is what you do. You do not get divorced, right? So,
Yes.
and then is the fact that, well, what's better, love marriage or arranged marriage? But honestly, like I've been thinking about this over the last few days because I really wanted to talk about this. I think both have their pros and cons. With both, you could end up with someone terrible, like the guy or the woman, or well, yeah, because in arranged marriage, it's going to be a straight relationship. Let's be honest.
I'm just I'm just gonna say in either setup, it will usually be bad for the woman.
Yeah,
That's the bottom line. So, you know what? Pick your poison. Or
yeah,
guess what?
exactly.
Decenter. Deselect yourself. Yep. These petty things like the union of two people. We I mean, sagacious like Sagittarius, Scorpio, Aqua, Pisces placements, we are meant for the collective consciousness. We are not meant for like these baser human nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. Because you could be married to somebody who's absolutely terrible and, physically abuses you. Either way, you could be from a traditional Indian family and say, "Okay, we can't get divorced no matter how bad this person is to me." But on the other side too, we have that as well here. We still, even in this day and age, we have this pressure from our families and from society to save face, to honor our parents, to honor our marriage and stay together no matter what. Whether the person's like physically abusive or cheating. And honestly, if you think about it, with arranged marriage, you can just blame it on your parents, right? You don't have to blame it on yourself or your own poor decisions. So maybe that's 1.4 arranged
have
marriage.
I heard have I heard one parent of mine mention this? That you know what, we blame it on the parents? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I'm a product of arranged marriage.
But your parents seem
And
to
yeah,
be
you
doing
can
great.
blame it on the parents.
Yes.
You can blame it on the parents. Thing with arranged marriages is also that you are expected to go in blindly. So when you're expected to have no expectations, maybe it suits a certain type of personality. A certain type of personality that doesn't want pre-information to like cloud their experience. Whereas I think in our millennial, Gen Z, Gen Alpha generation, we are so used to having access to information. Like ours is the age of information, especially millennials and early Gen Z, that we want to know to the extent where we are like, maybe I don't like knowing so much. So,
Yeah.
exactly, maybe that template worked back then, or it works with certain people because they just don't want to go into something knowing too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like the parents don't do due diligence. They do due diligence in arranged marriages.
I mean, are they going to
You
look
know
at
what?
someone's
Just
arrest
don't get
record? I
married.
don't think so. Yeah, right. They're going to look at the finances,
No,
the
no, they
parents'
would.
finances.
They would.
Oh,
No,
oh,
I
cool.
they go as deep as to like really refinedly check that person. And generally because it will be through a matchmaker, it would that person would generally already be known in the larger network community. That's how like matchmakers work over here. They are more like, how do I say? Like what Seema auntie does in Indian matchmaking, it just shows 10% of the effort that matchmakers actually put over here for arranged marriages.
Yeah. And then also, don't most of them in the book they talked about hiring astrologers right after your child is born. Don't
Yeah,
they do that
yeah,
with the arranged marriages as well? Before they get married, they do their charts
yes,
to see if they're compatible.
yeah. But see,
Yeah.
what happens is like, because most of these astrological compatibility chart reading, it's mostly done by the priests, the Brahmins. In order to like earn money, sometimes they just like, they're like, yeah, compatible, so that they can get their commission. So I don't even know how much of that is like really true, or how much of it is just okayed because money, capitalism.
Exactly. Hey, they got to find a way to make their
Huh,
buck, right? Ah, cool. Well,
exactly.
that's very interesting. I can't wait for that show to come back out. I'm so excited. I don't know if you saw my message. There's that we just got this show on Hulu, I think it is. No, Netflix. And I'm going to say this word wrong again.
Desi Bling.
Desi Bling. Do you guys have it over there?
Desi, like
Desi.
pronounce it as Dayyi. Yeah.
Uh,
Dayyi. Picture it like that in your head. Desi.
Desi. Got it. Yes, I want to watch that. That's
Yes.
what I'm going to start pretty soon because that looks like it's a lot of fun.
Oh,
And I don't
you know,
have any.
in the news,
Uh,
in the news, it came out that there's one couple in this reality show, Desi Bling, and apparently they are being cancelled for promoting infidelity.
oh, that's another thing too. I was going to say with the arranged marriage and just like the love marriages, there's on both sides. There are those that, especially the more money that's involved with the marriage and the more money that would be involved in a divorce, where sometimes they just realize, you know what? We love each other, we tolerate each other. Maybe we have kids, maybe we don't, but most of the time they have assets together. If you guys
Yeah.
both agree and you have your side things, like, if it's agreed upon, there's an arrangement, right? Like, who cares? But then again, that's a whole different can of worms, and we're not going to go there. We'll read another book, maybe about infidelity. We can go into that. But why not? I mean, you have money. It's just, and plus, like, if I had some husband that I was tired of, this is also my Sag Venus talking. So don't.
And
I
Sag
can't.
Stellium in the ninth house.
Yeah, my Sagittarium. The concept of being with the same person for such a long time, that's just like blows my mind because I, I mean, I'm one divorce down, one marriage down, but then to be I mean, like it's you can get along still, you can like each other, but there's comes a point where, especially after kids and just life, where yeah, I mean there's not as much sizzle, there's not as much fire, so like if they're gonna let me have a boyfriend on the side, That's fine, right? I don't That's like that would be, like, ideal. And as long as they're doing their own thing and if you wanna keep it under wraps so the public doesn't know, who cares, right? So, but I'm very excited to get into that because I need another, like, what is it? Reality show.